Okay, let's see here. Hello?
Hello. Marcus, okay, all right, listen. I'm going to have to guide you through your stream manager because I need you to accept the invite to stream together. Okay?
All right. This is my producer. You've never heard this voice before.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
this
correct.
Is my producer, and just going to help me through some things. We're going to get some...
Marcus is loud. I can fix that, chat. Okay, there we go.
Racist. That was
yeah. Wow. Extremely... Oh, calling a black man loud. That's really interesting, Noob Guru. Huh?
That was racist.
Any other terms you want to use? Uppity? Anything else that I can,
Guy sounds pretty angry.
How's his temper with the whole state of the election right now?
He's gonna rap for us too.
No.
All right.
Oh, fuck.
Okay. All right. Okay. You're gonna walk me through.
Right, Chad's saying you're articulate now. You're great.
That's true. Go fuck yourself.
Okay. So now you got to go to the backstage manager.
I had to go.
And you've got to
show on stream. Boom.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
Thank you, Black Metal Mike.
You exist in the context.
Okay.
Well, chat.
Of all in which you live and what came before you.
Look at us.
Look at this. Chat.
My screen setup happened. But...
Surprise episode of live ManConing.
That's right, yeah.
Manufactured coconuts?
Manufacturing coconuts. We're coconut pilled over here, folks.
Absolutely.
We believe.
Falling out of the tree.
Everything's flowing into my subconsciousness right now, chat.
Steph wants to know if we're
recording audio separately. Oh God, Steph's here. Fuck. Yeah, Steph, we can do.
The real producer showed up. Goddamn. Okay.
We'll do it. Okay, hold up. I'm opening Audacity.
Okay, same. This is supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
All right.
We're just trying to have fun. When Mom comes
trying to hang out with my friends.
I just wanted to play Street Fighter 2.
I gotta clean your room, and he can help.
So I can unlock Heihachi and use the right button inputs.
The days when, like, you ever have your friend they told to rope in to help with the chores?
Yeah.
And it's like you decided to come over when he was grounded, so now you're grounded too, motherfucker.
Fuck.
Wholly unjustified and brutal invasion of Iraq. Of Ukraine.
Wars have been fought over oil. In a short matter of time, they will be fought over wars.
This as well? All right. Everything's recording now.
Everything's good.
Look at us, chat. Look, you were behind the curtain for a second, chat. Yeah. You just saw all these things happening. Wow. Episode 26.5.
26 and a half.
Yeah. 26 and a half.
Yeah.
Breaking news, emergency time. We are all coconut pilled now.
We are indeed. We are all coconut pilled.
Yeah.
Well, so I guess I do have to say. That I was surprised.
Yeah.
Because, and this
I was a little as well. I didn't think that the Democratic...
Ted Cruz, go fuck
the Democratic
yourself.
establishment is just kind of like... You know when you go into Elden Ring and then you go to Caelid and it's all just rot? I thought of them as that. Like just kind of a husk that was no longer able to gather its energy together to assert like actual like party decisions, right? It was able to kind of like meander along with like donor money to continue to fundraise and everything. But
I can understand everything that you said after the little
yeah. The Caelid thing was for chat more than you, but yeah. Like I thought that they were a shambling zombie from The Walking Dead. Okay.
Yeah. So Joe Biden. Why don't you just say that?
Yeah. I mean, he was a perfect representation of what the Democratic Party has been
Inception.
for the past 20, 30 years. Post new third way, Clinton kind of like Democrats. Right?
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, and that's where until Joe Manchin gets on the ticket. Okay, we're still holding out, for that. Okay,
a strong unity ticket.
Yeah,
okay,
that's right. Well, and this is where I honestly thought like Joe Biden was just gonna be so egotistical. I just relegated myself to Joe Biden is just not gonna give up the keys.
Yeah,
and the worst thing is gonna happen because. That's the timeline, right?
Yeah, sure.
But now I feel like we're on a less bad. Like this is not good. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole lot of no. jubilation on Twitter, but like, this is not actually good. This is just in the realm of less bad.
Yes, it is. And as I told Chad earlier, I think there is a potential now for the Dems to win. And that may be better for, obviously, just like individual outcomes in the United States. Like, obviously, things will be less bad for the trans community. Things will be less bad. Like there is potential there. But again, that's only potential. Like, Kamala's not guaranteed to win just because Joe Biden has dropped out.
And this is where, like, very, very important shifts need to happen in the Democratic Party. I.e., stop hiring losers if you want to win.
Yeah,
like
we talked about this before.
Like just talk to Obama and say whoever you put on the list is running the campaign.
Correct.
And
get the pod Johns in there.
Say it with me: 50 state strategy. 50 state strategy campaign everywhere.
Take away Jamie Harrison's phone and give him, like...
Fire him! Fire him!
Speak and spell instead, make him feel like he's still doing something.
Fire that loser immediately!
He's such a fucking loser! This guy has done nothing. He held state office for like 4 years or something. He's done nothing!
He lost. I know that he
and then
lost.
He lost Instagram afterwards. Like, but before that, I think he was like one of the first like black delegates in South Carolina or something like that. Like, that's all he's done.
He needs to get out of here. He needs to get out of here.
And before that, he worked for like he worked as lobbyist. So he's nothing.
Yeah, like and
he spends his time now arguing with 20 follower Twitter accounts.
Oh my God.
About how good and fucking smart looking Biden is. Like, he's useless.
What
is he doing? He's not even fundraising. What is he doing?
All of the people who were just shouting to the rooftops for the past 3 weeks saying, no, if you say Joe Biden needs to step down, you hate black women, actually. You're not do you know how black people will fucking tear this country apart if we don't let Joe Biden? And then literally
these white legislators are asking Joe Biden to step
down. What is it like? I mean, this is where it's like, we'll see, but they're reporting like between 50 and 70 million raised last
67 million. They beat their top all-time race.
Like, I really hope Joe Biden understands. Okay, you fucking piece of shit, Joe. They wanted you to go the fuck away. And this is where too, like, proof of life for Joe Biden. Okay, just gonna throw that out there. Like, who knows? This is now my other, tinfoil hat me. Okay, they AI Biden. Read the letter. Like, COVID got him, okay? It's Jovid. It's not just Jover. It's Jovid.
I've seen no proof of life for days. Who knows,
Prove to me Joe Biden's alive. I'll wait. I'll wait. But aside the point, we'll find out for one way or another, okay? We'll find out one way or another. But
that's true.
That's one thing people, I wish the media kind of pushed a little bit more on that thing.
It's gonna be Hunter and old age makeup.
He's like, just like, psych. I actually want to keep running. I feel great.
I'm feeling great, Jack. Is that what it's saying, Jack? Oh, fuck.
Please let that happen. But no, this is where questions, and like I said, like we're in the realm of less bad. The Democrats now have a chance.
We're in the realm of potential for them.
Yes, potential less bad.
They have a moment that they could have had 2 years ago if he would have just said, "Hey, I'll be a single term guy." But again, we are still in a realm of like great potential for them right now. They did this yesterday, right after the RNC, right? Like robbing the energy like expertly away from the RNC and anything that they might have had to talk about in the cycle for the next couple of days, right? Like,
well, yeah, that's where, and this is where I think like the Republicans ruined themselves for the RNC. Like there was a chance where like the media would have absolutely fell for it. But they would have had to go mask on. They really would have had to go a good 4 days.
They did a win more convention.
Yeah.
From JD Vance to everything else. It was a complete like win more, like, oh, we're already ahead. We got this. So let's just fucking weird it up.
No, and that's where if Trump would have just been able to leverage getting shot in the ear, this is where too of like Trump got shot like what? Yeah. A week ago, 2 weeks ago. Like, it's been 84 years. I like the fuck, man. Okay, Trump got shot a week ago. If you couldn't leverage that into saying, "Oh, hey," like Bush and all the fucking rest of the old fuckers into an actual Republican unity fucking thing, and just even they show up for a night, you don't even have to be seen with Trump. Just get them in the building.
He shot people.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I know what it's like to be on the other end, brother. You know what I'm saying? And they shake hands.
Yeah.
But if they could have done, if they would have been able to manage that, like, I mean, Van Jones would have been crying because he's like a Republican again instead of like crying over Biden. Like that would have. Oh my God, the Republicans are normal. You know what I'm saying? Joe Manchin would have been like, just with bells on, they messed, they couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like they're too just bloodthirsty. Like people can see the fangs still. And so it kind of just went back to normal. This is where it's like, I do feel a little like gaslit by how normalized gun violence is in our country.
Yeah, man.
Because like, but that's where it's like, no, because there's so much gun violence, we're just built for this, and we just kind of we literally just moved on. It's just part of the rat race. And this is where
it's part of like people like kind of already prognosticating about like why it even happened in the first place. They're just like, well, he got shot, and for Republicans, a lot of it is, well, he got shot by a commie. Of course, the fake news will try to say it's somebody else, but they were coming for our guy.
Yeah. Well, and this is, but because like that's, you look at,
it means different things to different political groups at this point, and it's no longer just an assassination attempt. Now it's been distilled into these different like schools of thought.
Yes.
And out of that, it's kind of been robbed of any like real meaning that it could have had.
Well, and I mean, this is where like for every person that has just been gunned down senselessly in this country for the decades, and you know what I'm saying? Over the decades, that have just been turned into a political talking point. Why not Trump and the fucking firefighter? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, things just get synthesized overnight into a political rat race. And even an assassination attempt on a former president. And that's just kind of like wild to see it happen. And then it's like they go through the RNC. He kisses the helmet. Thank you. What's his name? Cody. Thank you, Cody. Peretta. Thank you.
Such a queen. I love it so much. He's like kissing the helmet, blowing Hulk Hogan kisses. Melania his like
giving his
assassination attempt letter about him is like extremely Sondheim coded. Like, God, man,
giving his daughter the cold shoulder. Right, it just went back to normal. And so now the Democrat, and this is where the rollout matters. And honestly, like, God damn it, Kamala can't listen to these fucking Democrat freaks. You have to, you got to think outside the box. And this is where too, it's like literally anyone that worked on her own campaign, her presidential campaign, you can't hire any of them. Like you need to find winners, people who know how to win.
It sounds like she's getting counsel from people like J.B. Pritzker, Wes Moore, like Whitmer. Like they sat down at a table with her and started saying, "Hey, these are the fucking policy options that you need for your campaign." Or at this point, this was last Saturday, so it was just the Biden campaign. But now, very much her campaign. These are the things that you need to focus on. And I think Roy Cooper, that she was with again for the second time in 2 weeks on Friday. She's there with Roy Cooper at that, event that she did. And she's talking about, hey, listen, like this guy is not pro-choice and he does not represent all these American, like she's very much getting inside the reproductive rights, like discussion. And I think that's her lane. That's huge for her to come out and after Biden has been radio silent on this since the Dobbs decision.
Well, because he never cared. Joe Biden never cared about reproductive rights. It was like pulling, dentures, I guess. It's like taking the keys away from grandpa, getting this guy to even say abortion, and he only would reference it into Trump took away the ability to get an abortion. He never said it in a positive, we are going to bring back the right for people to get an abortion. He would never say that. This is what Trump took away.
He is himself against abortion.
Yeah, because he's just kind of fine with it. And he knows that he's just got to play politics around it. I've got a real question, and this is where too, it's like, there's a lot of people who were just, Biden's the greatest fucking politician I've ever seen, and this has been the best presidency of my life.
God, man.
But my question now, how far, like, are we going to, the 5% rent cap?
Yeah.
Right? When Bernie and AOC are saying, we're riding with Biden.
Do those things transfer over.
And like,
I don't know. I think about Kamala Harris, and I know, obviously, I'm not a Kamala Harris fan. I'm aware of her, like real quick, just quick side. I hate Twitter right now for the people, specifically the people that are scoldy about it. Because it's like, brother, I didn't lose sight of the fact that Kamala Harris is Kamala Harris. All right. I understand who she is. Shut up about it. Let's fucking, we're not getting anybody else. Okay. We're not getting Mao's not rising back from the grave. We're not, Che Guevara's not coming out of the fucking shadow. Nobody else is going to come save this thing. It's going to be Kamala Harris. So we figure out how to make peace with that and have some fun memes for the next couple of months. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's it. But thinking about Kamala Harris and thinking about her politics pre-VP, she was a very, if I remember, I'm trying to remember her voting record. I think she was pretty much just right aligned with Bernie or right to the right of him. Now, we're not talking about her prosecutor record, but overall, her voting record as a senator was fairly progressive. That never really means anything, but
because it's not so much because if you were gonna compare what each office authored, those would be two starkly different things. But it's by the time something gets onto the Senate floor, that's where a Bernie and Kamala Harris vote aren't ever going to be that different, because whatever gets to the Senate floor isn't going to be a choice between Medicare for all and a public option.
Correct. So we don't know what her real all of this to say, we are trying to figure out what her ceiling is in many different ways, whether it's what her ceiling is for appeal when we're talking about polling, which we'll find out in the next month or so. Right.
Yeah.
Or if we're talking about her ceiling for potential, what is she going to offer as a candidate? What is she going to,
and this is
bring
where
to the office that Joe Biden did not.
and this is where the thing is, like, where the Democratic Party as a whole has been a complete failure, you know. Yes. And this is where actually having goals that every Democrat in every state can move towards. That's where, you know, like the housing thing is a big thing, and there's a lot of avenues that people can fit into more housing, but there actually has to be some policy stakes that the president, you know, or at least these campaigners are, you know, and that's where it's like Kamala Harris can definitely push. Rent cap should be, people in the Republican Democrats in these red states should say, hey, I am supporting of this president. Mm-hmm. They're going, you know, for government housing, you know, of a million capacity government housing built over the next 5 years. And I am for more housing, but maybe just 500, you know, just 500,000 with these other, you know, like they can still dance in that lane, but still going in the same direction. And you get to hedge yourself, but not look like a ghoul. But that's where you, like, the Democratic Party has to decide, like, more housing is going to be one of our things. And, like, there has to be a better solution for healthcare than whatever the AC is. Like, there has to be another jump, plant your stake, and allow people to kind of exist in a left and right limit as far as whether they're being more conservative, but also too, you know, an AOC, you know, or Ilhan Omar, they could jump to a little bit to the left and say, hey, 1 million is great. That's so dope. It's going to be, you know, but we need to push for more after that. You know, they could still even say. And so it's just how the Democratic Party as a whole, if they're willing to actually set forward policies for the people, campaign on it. And that's where, too, is like for, you know, like, I'm not getting fooled again. Okay. You know, another great thought leader like said, fool me once, blame on you.
No hope and change we can believe in.
And I can't be fooled again. Okay.
Yeah. Like that's past. We are obviously like more hard and cynical like individuals, which is, I think, why I like the fun of the coconut stuff as well. It's just like, oh, I'm cynical as fuck, man. I don't think this, operation is going to save us anyways. All right.
Oh yeah.
Like, we're kicking the can down the road away from like monsters that want to like privatize everything and
murder
Democrats
people.
are adherent to that as well. You know, like,
everything
is just,
well, it's just for me. It's just like everything else is like where it's just like, this is what the Democrats should lie about. Like, I know you're not going to do anything.
Yeah. But at least
lie better.
Yeah. You had Bashir as well. Like, I believe it was either Thursday or Friday. He's addressing Kentucky, and it was one of the things I grabbed because and we'll talk like VP stuff in a little bit, but because he's in the mix, I grabbed the clip, and he's talking about how much he fucking hates charter schools, you know, and how dead of an end of a project he thinks that is, how cruel it is that Republicans support it. And it's like, yeah, you guys need to go back to doing this shit, okay? There's a reason he's an incredibly popular Democratic governor in a red state. All right. Part of it is because he's a Nepo baby. But the other part is because he's like a guy that actually like resonates with these people. You know, they see him and they're like, yeah, OK, that's believable.
Yeah.
Like he's saying it. Is he going to be able to do it? No, they have a fucking crazy Republican legislature and it sucks in Kentucky. But at least he's paying lip service to things that they're affected by.
And that's all. I mean, really, like, that's all it really takes. You know, like, this is where it's like a lot of, I think there's a lot of people who are like, oh, wow, holy shit. Thank God they actually, like, Biden decided to fucking give up the keys.
Yeah.
But, I mean, some of the shit that people have been saying about, like, oh, how, you know, no, he's got it. He's going to be back on the campaign trail in no time. And, you know, Biden's going to be, you know, like, all this bullshit, you know, there's just like.
This young, spry, 81-year-old man is just taking a quick breather after a bout with COVID again. And he'll be back real soon, okay?
Yeah, so like.
He's almost ready.
There's a lot of politicians that just show themselves for, like, you're just absolute goons. Like, you're silly. Because, like, you don't. And that's where even it's just like. I feel like Biden, I feel like Bernie and AOC with their, like, we'll just, you know, hey, you know, so we're supporting the ticket. I think they went way, you know, and AOC with the hour.
AOC's Instagram live,
oh my
man.
God.
I
it's
understood
a lot.
some salient points of it where it's just like the one part that I will agree with out of the entire hour that Jesus Christ that she sat down was these people don't have your best interests. They are party operatives that are trying to make the switch. And it's like, of course, yes, you're right.
Yeah,
but
like
also, no shit, lady. But also, like it's crazy to go this far out of your way to like defend Biden out of the hope that he's maybe going to put forth some of your policies in the event that he never fucking wins, because you all have seen the internals.
I mean, and this is
what
where
do you want?
Like, this is what I was saying though, is just like, if you can't extract something right now for all your protection of Biden, it's worthless. There's nothing to say anything transfers over, right? And like the only thing you could do right now, and like that's where it's like there's such a bullshit push for the Supreme Court. Yeah. Right? Because this is where, especially, and like Joe Biden, you rip the fucking Band-Aid off. Now you like either in this where who the fuck knows even make decisions, but it's like just fix the court. At this point now, right? Now that you're not you could just fix, you know what I'm saying? Just do it, dude. And then Kamala is unburdened by what has been. You know, but like just start fucking saying I'm putting this person, I'm just gonna try and put him through the Senate, see what happens.
That's it.
Let you make the splash, right? When fucking goddamn Netanyahu comes, rip the Band-Aid off, Joe. These are things that are actual possible and necessary in order for Kamala and whatever the Democratic Party comes next to actually move on. Because this is where Kamala loses, is being tied to genocide, not actually having a good policy as like forward thinking, being tied to the border. You know what I'm saying?
That's like it. That's what I said. Like Kamala benefits from being a near blank slate. She can, say, yes, Biden was a great man that, revived our economy, etc. But also there's some ways that I'd like to look forward with my own policy. I'd like to create my own proposals that I think could go further from what we've been doing right here, so we can really, go forward united, or whatever her campaign slogan is, right? Like, she has the potential to be, again, I said this earlier, and I think a lot of people need to take this into account. She is the first fresh politician on the national stage that these people are seeing since 2008. That is, confirmed as a presumptive nominee, right? Yeah. Like, they've dealt with Biden's and Clinton's for so long, and even, Barack Obama is now a known entity as well, but they haven't had like a fresh person in front of them like Kamala in a long time. And I think that contributes to how much fundraising you saw yesterday. $67 million in mostly small donations for people that are genuinely energized to see somebody different in the position. Not a Trump, not a, none of these people anymore, just something entirely new and maybe full of potential.
And that's where it was really like kind of like, holy shit. Cause like, that's the thing where it's just like, we remember Kamala's past as like the prosecutor line, they need to stop saying, just move on.
Yeah.
Okay, man, move on.
It's
all
now
right,
cop versus felon, man. If I was the Republicans, I'd never say prosecutor again.
But they're you've got that. But at the end of the day, like, Kamala is a blank slate for normies, and like they are just excited over not Biden,
And she's not old.
Like, they're just excited, for not old, for not gonna die soon.
That's it.
Like, that's
how regular voters think,
Like
regular voters don't care. Like, I'm sorry, for us, yes, we care that she's a prosecutor, former prosecutor, in the way that like regular voters are just gonna be like, oh, delightful, she's younger. Like, oh, I can be represented, by this lady instead. Fantastic.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it is. Dude. Because I mean, there's just like, oh my God, someone who could speak and they just started tossing money. And there's a whole lot of like, you know, there's a whole lot of different, I think, constituencies, you know, but like mainly, you know, within, you know, the some of the fraternities and sororities that are are like coming from these HBCUs, and like there's a lot of money in there. There's a lot of political power there, right? And this is where with Clyburn, you know what I'm saying? That's where Clyburn is able to fucking really make these types of shifts. So that's pretty fucking important that she checks off that fucking that box.
Yeah.
But you know, how does that translate? And this is where, like, I know, like, how does like the Republicans like push border failure onto her? You know,
I think that's the only like thing they try to push on her, right? Like, 'cause she was the one that was supposed to be the border czar or whatever.
Yeah,
so that's their best hope is to try to say, well, she failed you all, you know?
Yeah. But I mean, it's and like that's where it's like once again it's just like like there's like Biden stepping down is just dodging like the howitzer. You know, that's just dodging the huge fucking artillery shell that was obviously coming for the past few years. But now there is a slightly smaller artillery shell that is still on the way.
Well, again, like we're talking about reconfiguring the party right now, right?
Yeah.
And the potential that Kamala has for that. Like that is real and tangible, and it's something to really think about. Like with all these liberals that tried to eschew like, you know, progressive narratives and everything in 2020 and adhere them to Biden, it is very important in this moment to think about how those failed, how those did not actually work into his campaign, and how actually looking at post like Ukraine, Biden's policy just got more conservative as time went on. You know, so there was a little bit of signaling in the first like year or so about how he might be a little more progressive, and then nothing, right? And so Democrats have to not repeat that mistake. Realistically, if you're trying to talk to the people, if you're trying to continue to energize the electorate, otherwise, we saw what happened in 2010 with Barack Obama, right? We saw the absolute bloodbath that occurred when he did not start to deliver on those fucking, you know, hope and change like ideas. And so now you've gone down a party that's even worse because there is no more like AstroTurf Tea Party. It is real now, okay? Like that is an extant threat. Like that is the Republican Party now. And they are crazy, you know, and they do want to just make things worse for people. Like they've always wanted that, but they want to make them as worse as they possibly could be. So if you're not going to address that as a Democrat at this point, like you're being given a second chance. You know, this is a new lease on life where you could actually like do something by the people or get out of the way. If you want labor, you got to start talking to those people. All right. Otherwise, they will continue to show up the fucking RNC. All right.
Yeah.
Or they will just abandon your party completely.
And that's where like this goes one of two ways. One more likely, one less likely, but a better chance of Democrats actually winning the election. And it's either she keeps the Biden campaign and the Biden advisors. She brings back her old campaign people and her, you know, the people she and they lose, right? They just say Trump bad. Well, and like, and they probably, you know, there's just a good chance, like if you just say Trump bad into oblivion, like it's just not going to work. Especially like when you're talking about
you will not
Gaza,
always be the villain.
Right, Gaza, Ukraine, like and this is where if Biden doesn't resolve some of these things, like Kamala's not unburdened by what has been, you know. But the other fucking option that is once again, you know, less likely, but like I would say almost you can't lose is if you get Obama, like you said, keep the governors in the room, get Sean Fain in the room. And you run off of those
Sean
being
Fain's team in the room. They're great.
Like, and that's where it's like
they're all in their 20s. They're smart.
And
they have been incredible in coaching him through a lot of that. That's not removing agency from Sean Fain. He's also a great tactician, but his team of like Zoomers, they absolutely understand the pulse.
Yeah,
you know,
because like all of
those people,
right? And it's not like Sean Fain's been in the room. You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
he's been in the room. Like, listen to the actual popular people. God damn it. I don't know how it's so hard for these fart sniffing goddamn Democrat operatives to understand. Like, stop being losers, okay? Stop hiring losers. Look at popular people and say, oh, hey, that's what we need to win. An election is literally a popularity contest. And you need to stop doing unpopular things and start doing popular things. It's very simple. It's just they do almost everything. And that's where it's like Joe Biden just rage quitting on the election. Because that's 1 minute. The senior campaign staff were told 1 minute before he dropped. One fucking minute.
I think that was the best decision that they've made, by the way, because if they were given any more time than that, they would have been like, no, sir, please, no, we love you so much.
Oh my God.
No, you can't do this. We need our fucking jobs. You know?
Yeah. Well, that's why it's like
fucking Feinstein staffers that were wandering around weekend at Bernie'sing her away. Like that had to happen a minute before. Otherwise, God.
That's the thing is like, get Van Jones in here right now.
Jesus Christ, man.
But there is just no, it's like, it's insane. Yeah. But and that's where it's like, for one, don't ever feel bad about not giving any of these workplaces your 2 weeks, okay?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
President gets to quit with 1 minute warning, okay? Just say
my best day was I went to a restaurant, you know, and I was already kind of on it was down in South Carolina, and I already had to drive to the island to work there like 30 minutes. And I was already on the outs with them because, you know, it was a tourist crowd. But then they sat me with a 27 top with 18 kids. And they were like, oh, you can't put gratuity on it. And I was like, oh, that's cool. You excuse me for a second? And they were like, yeah, sure. And I just walked out the fucking door and never looked back, you know? Yeah. I never saw that restaurant again.
Bye.
Yeah.
Hey, can you just give me a minute?
Tendering my notice, actually. I'll see you later.
Well, yeah, you know, and this where like 1 minute and that's why like part of me, it just goes back into like the conspiracy thinking of like he's already dead. It's Jovid.
Yeah.
And they just had to like print something off. They couldn't find something with letterhead. You know what I'm saying? They just typed something out on the Word document, you know, on the fucking 1998 computer, and like
this sounds like him, right?
It's hit print, you know?
Yeah.
But no, and that, I mean, this is where like it's still like a very big week, you know, where like Netanyahu's coming today. He's supposed to meet with Joe Biden Wednesday.
Hopefully Joe Biden's still positive. Yeah.
there's gonna be a protest that I'm gonna be at. And I just pray to God that like the news cycle picks it up and forces it like into their like, because like that it has to be dealt with. You know what I'm saying? It just in some way or another it just has to be fucking dealt with.
Yeah. Or now, listen, I want to just like sit around and prognosticate about VP picks for a second, but let me run this one by you, Marcus. A lot of people aren't talking about it, but there is a politician from Pennsylvania that could solve this entire problem, be a real unity candidate, all right?
Oh, God.
That's right. I'm talking about Kamala Harris with Benjamin Netanyahu.
Oh, my God.
At the bottom of the ticket. Now, hear me out. A lot of people are ready for that, but it keeps him out of Israel, right?
You're...
It could really, you know.
Oh my god! I just almost was retching with Gretchen over here. Okay.
You're like, he's talking about Josh Shapiro, obviously. Yeah.
I thought Fetterman. I thought you were gonna throw out. Oh, here comes a Fetterman joke. No, way worse. Way worse.
No. At least you didn't guessing.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, it wasn't a sharp turn. It was a U-turn, actually.
I will say, listen, my favorite thing though is the convention is going to be fun now. We're gonna have a good time. I think it's gonna be. Listen, it was gonna be a boring convention. They're probably gonna do half of it on Zoom. Now,
I mean, that's where
I actually got to do shit.
After Genocide Joe's came about, there was no part of me that thought that the convention was gonna be boring, even without, you know what I'm saying, like even without all this. But now, you know, it depends too as to what. Well, yeah, the next how the DNC figures out whatever the hell they're going to do. And they just need to stop playing around with this whole online voting thing.
Oh, absolutely. Because, people like the convention, man.
Ohio changed the law. It's move on, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Mike Johnson tried to say that shit too. He's like, I might file suit. It's like, against what?
You can't
do. You failed. You failure of a lawyer. You didn't even go to real law school. Shut up.
Oh, that's where there's. Oh, hey, the threat, the lawsuit only becomes a thing if Joe Biden actually became the nominee, right? Yeah, after the primary, after the primary results, he was the presumptive nominee due to receiving enough pledged delegates to receive the nomination at the Democratic National Convention, right? That's what Joe Biden was.
Correct. Yeah, they wanted if they could if he would have dropped out post convention, then they would have started filing lawsuits.
There's something, right? Yeah, but
this is nothing. Again, it's unprecedented in a way that a presidential presumptive nominee hasn't waited this long before dropping out of the primary race. LBJ dropped very early, you know, because he looked at public opinion. He saw that he was not going to have a path. But realistically, there's nothing you can do, man. They're going to select a nominee at the convention, and that's when ballots get printed. That's how it's always worked.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
The one in Ohio,
Ohio
was the state, and they changed the law. Everything's fine. So just do it normal. Just do it normal.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's it. It's just I don't know. It's very silly. But I also, like I said earlier, I do want them to I'd prefer Mike Johnson. If you want to wrap yourself for the next 3 months, if you want to wrap yourself up in lawsuits instead of supporting swing state, lean R fucking Republican House nominees, fucking do it, brother. I want you to do that shit instead. Sit there and wrap yourself up in the stupidest goddamn discussion imaginable. Please do that instead. Because that would be fantastic. If you could just take your eyes off of all these House races that you need to hold the House for the Republicans, do it. Get in there.
That's where
I want you to do it.
That's where I just I just want to go back over real quick how idiotic the Democrats are overall, and how dipshit they were to try and even keep Joe Biden around, because Kennedy got assassinated after winning the fucking nominee. Then they had to go to somebody else, and then they fucking lost. Okay?
Yes.
If they would have gone through the normal fucking process, had Joe Biden stepping down, have an actual open primary, do the whole fucking song and dance, then just, there is, and where, you know what I'm saying? As long as nothing bad, you know what I'm saying? As long as nothing permanently bad happens to them, then it's fine, right? Then you just move on with an actual candidate who can finish sentences and debate Trump.
Correct. That's it. It's easy.
And you would
be you start focusing all of that he's too old energy just directly on Trump.
And you go against Trump, but you're also going against the party that for the first time ever ousted their own speaker and went through some clown carving exercise for weeks.
Yeah.
It's the party. You're going against the party that MTG was showing Hunter's Hog. This is this George Santos. That was this Congress. Useless. This George Santos. Remember George Santos? Okay. Yeah. It feels like forever ago. We're still in that same Congress. You are campaigning against that Republican House. George Santos outing McCarthy. Hunter's Hog on the floor.
Matt Gaetz a pedophile. All of these things.
How do you? It is like this should not be close. This shouldn't be close at all.
No,
it's absurd. These people and this is where it's like Democrats. This is how much you suck. You're in a tight race with people who can't put on shorts. What are you doing?
With people that have Hulk Hogan as the keynote speaker to introduce their nominee. Listen, brother, they told me I can't say the slurs live on the microphone, but just know it's in my heart.
Yeah.
Anyways, here's Donald Trump.
Here's Donald Trump. God damn it. How do you lose to them?
Man. Yeah, I don't know. Like, again, we'll see if the Dems can recalculate here. I think they've got a great opportunity to do so.
Yeah.
I think a hell of a Sunday. You know what? For them to kick off with.
I'm going to take
now. They've got to start moving. They've got to look at VP possibilities, and the first one was a joke, obviously, but moving forward into the potentials, I think you and I have talked before. Andy Bashir would be fine.
Yeah.
I think that, he's got those fucking, Southern sensibility type he's very well liked in like Kentucky, he's a very blank slate kind of a guy.
Yeah.
He's going to be term limited at the end of this term anyways. He can appoint his lieutenant governor to serve out until whenever. It's not really going to matter much because again, their legislature is Republican, so it's just which is same with North Carolina, correct? Same with Roy Cooper. Roy Cooper's also a good pick. I think he's a little older though. Out of all the choices, kind of on the field, I think Roy Cooper would be the oldest. But I like Roy Cooper. I think he's fine, and I think that's specifically to shore up the North Carolina vote, which they could. Potentially, it's in a couple points. They might be able to snag that, and also, and I think more effectively here, they could try to block Mark Robinson from ever getting near the governorship. So that would work for multiple levels if they wanted to go that way.
Yeah,
I think the most silly brain Poggers stuff is Mark Kelly. I think Mark Kelly's fine, but he's an astronaut, all right?
Yeah.
And people like him because astronaut, okay?
Yeah.
It's not because he has strong policy. You can lie to me and be like, no, actually, I like the way that this one thing that he voted on policy. No, he's a fucking astronaut, and people are just like, oh my fucking God, he's been to space.
He's John McCain with working arms and a D next to his name. He's not good on, I don't think, any policy. I don't know what policy he would be good on. I know he's hawkish on the fucking border, and he also used to be a fucking fighter pilot, so he's hawkish on everything else. So that's why it's I get why they would. They're probably pretty sure that they, he could get, they could, get a replacement, a Democratic, to win, Democrat to win state right in Arizona.
Again, you've got Katie Hobbs that would replace him, right? So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So he's getting replaced with a Democrat at least until 2026 when his seat's up. So
yeah, and then depending, and that's where too is just depending on how they do. I mean, obviously, Arizona is not for Trump too much. So
yeah. They're starting to back away. I think it looks like Arizona's kind of losing their taste for
Arizona. People are moving to Ohio. Apparently, that's they're just dumping into Ohio.
Yeah.
It's too damn hot.
And then I think lastly you've got Josh Shapiro, which I don't know, man. He's got the Obama cadence.
Yeah. This is where I do think, though, in my head, though, it's and this is where it's Shapiro, Pritzker, Big Gretch.
Yeah, Pritzker would also. There's a lot of other choices that Pritzker would be fun.
If you're mid your run, you should just stay in place.
Yeah.
I kind of just feel like if you're in your run, just stay there. So, but
again, I think honestly, I don't know, but I think that Shapiro does want to run in the future. I don't know if he wants the VP or if he'd rather just straight up run during the primaries. But I know he's one of the ones that absolutely wants it. So, but yeah, I agree. This is his first term. So maybe he wants to take some time, really, not go off to the NBA immediately, sit down, go to college, get some games in, hope they pick you up in a second round or something.
Yeah. And honestly, yeah. And God damn it. Stop the prosecutor shit and just say she's already half president. How is she qualified? Because she's doing it now. You all saw Biden on the debate stage, right? When they when they start asking, well, who's been helping Joe? Just say Kamala, okay?
Yeah.
Just lie better. I know you're not going to do better. Just you can lie better though, and that's where it's just presidential shit, forward-looking policy, okay? And you almost can't fuck it up. But if you choose losers, say, oh, prosecute Trump, DA.
It's,
it's not going to get anybody fucking excited. No one cares. No. It sucks shit. And then people are going to
all that shit in the memes. Okay. Yeah. Let your Biden wins account or whatever your Dark Brandon, all that bullshit that's been, changed over to Kamala stuff now. Let them tweet all the fucking Kamala cop pictures, standing over Trump or some shit. But keep that out of the main discussion, which needs to be, again, what appeals to voters,
Yeah.
What is going to get people in the fucking ballot box in November? You got a fresh face. What's she going to provide? What is going to get these people excited?
Yeah.
If it's just Republicans bad, and again, that's I think it's. I just want to make sure that's not lost on anybody. All of these picks are middle-aged white dudes that have some sort of policy bona fides to varying degrees, and we may not share them, but that's what they want to do is they want to shore up her. This is not for the voters. This VP pick is for donor class.
Yes,
VP pick is for higher party operatives that want to see her strengthened by someone that will bring something to the table. Voters, I 100% absolutely will not care about most of these picks unless they're from that state. Nobody's going to give a shit who her actual VP is besides us, the perverts, and people that have been around those politicians,
Yeah, I mean, short of a ridiculous, and that's where too, it's there's a lot of scandals you can survive in this fucking country. So short of them finding a stack of skin in your basement, you're probably fine. So yeah, and it's all just say, how do you, and really too, it's shore up the vibes for the donor and political class, right? Because there's a whole lot of just mental gymnastics that they jump through that are just unnecessary if you actually just had popular politicians. But yeah, for the donors, and that's where it's the donors are trying to get a whole lot of say. You are getting some people that are trying to push Joe Manchin, and it was, I guess Joe Manchin called Donna Brazile of how do I run? And she's like, well, you can't because you're not a Democrat. And it's womp womp, eat shit, loser. But yeah, that's where and that's AOC and some people warning oh, some people are going to try and undermine Kamala, but there's just so what I'm saying
happen anyways.
It was gonna there's just no way around
her
it.
More than they're undermining Biden.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that literally was drooling on the debate stage. They're gonna undermine her more than that.
Yeah, and
again, we started to see the preliminaries on Fox News. They're well, she laughs weird, Look at TikTok. We tweeted a fucking 1 minute long video about different ways that she laughs awkwardly, and it's bro, I don't know what to tell you about that, but everybody's got an aunt that does that shit.
I watch it when I'm sad as just like, just a little pick me up. It just makes me, makes me a little happy as well. You hear people laughing, you get a little laughy too.
I want to exist in the context,
That's where, it's like you're gonna have these right wingers being absolutely ghoulish, and this is where what are the things they're gonna react to, and the DEI and this, that, and whatever, bringing up any of like her past relationships. I feel like there's gonna be Republicans that are gonna just keep falling into the goddamn pit of her having children, right? Just wait for that Republican to come out because it's going to be real fucking ugly.
It's going to be real weird. Yeah.
And because I honestly, it's like with people know who the Republicans are, that shit's baked in. Whatever type of like turnout that they get, it's largely just people who already agree but weren't going to get off their ass.
I think that's right. Like the idea right now is if you're like thinking of this optimistically, the Republicans have already hit their ceiling, and they hit that months ago for the amount of voters that were going to vote Republican. The problem is the Democrats were unable to capitalize on pulling in new voters / pulling in people to be optimistic enough to come out and vote in 2024 when they voted in 2020 already. So capturing returning voters is going to be a problem for Democrats, and capturing like new. So if they're able to do both of those things with Kamala, then they probably just take Trump pretty easily. Like that, and that's their fucking road right now, is how do we use Kamala to energize the giant bit of support that we got in 2020, all these younger voters coming out that were turned off quite a bit by Biden and his reaction to the campus protests, amongst many other things, including like Palestine. How are we able to re-energize that part of the electorate, have them show out for us again? And I think a lot of that is looking, at least, memes wise, looks potentially really good on like forms of like social media and everything. How do they like also talk to those people in a policy manner? Like how do they tell them, hey, we listen, we've listened to you and we understand like how you feel, and these are things that we'd like to do to frankly like get.
Well, that's
Wes Moore told them as much as well. He was like, people under 35 don't want to fucking vote for us. What's the problem there?
Well, yeah, and then this is where I do think when it comes to like Gaza and students, they like, as far as what's been said, is like the encampments or some type of action on campuses is being planned. They were like, as if the universities haven't divested, and also too like with the ICJ ruling that Israel is an apartheid state, and countries, businesses should stop any business with an apartheid state. There is going to be another wave, likely, and that's where, with even supporting the genocide, not telling Netanyahu to stop after a few thousand Palestinians were murdered and the encampments start up. Like, these are the people who would be door knocking. These would be the young people who are volunteering and being able to travel from one state to another to help campaign here and there. They would be doing that now, right? And they're not at all. And that's where, where it's like things need to happen prior to election day, and actually for Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party to have a better chance. And if they don't, they'll get what they fucking deserve.
That's it. Like we said, this is their reset point. What they do from here, realistically defines them as a party for the next couple decades, because this is a very important point. I'm not talking from the Project 2025 or whatever the fuck, but like just voter like generations are shifting right now.
Yep.
Okay, people, this newest generation of voters is going to be making their decisions right now about how they're going to be voting for the next couple of decades. All right, like
If
as
at all.
they get grown to adulthood. So, what's your choice here? Because that's one of your biggest voting blocks.
Yeah.
Do you want them or don't you?
I want them to shut up. Vote.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see how it shakes out.
We will see.
What's your? I know it's live. We still got to do a silver lining, Marcus. What are you looking forward to, man?
Wednesday, honestly, Wednesday.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
like you know, this is like Netanyahu's going to be meeting with, you know, he's going to Congress to speak, and there's protests that you know, going to be there.
Kamala gets him locked up on Wednesday when he like shows up.
I mean,
such a power.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm telling you,
So crazy.
Like, I'm knocking doors that day. You know?
No, listen, absolutely. I'll be part of fucking. I'll be part of the infrastructure for life, man.
Yeah, like it's just like she goes to shake his hand and just slaps the fucking cuffs,
claps him.
Yeah, and then it just does
he's finishing his speech and everything, and she's like, "Oh, one more thing, Mr. Netanyahu."
Then just does the cackle.
Yeah. Columbo credits play. Amazing.
It's gonna be great. It'd be great. But no,
Yeah.
we'll see. We will see. But no, I'm looking forward to Wednesday and then to the DNC. Because shit's wild.
DNC is gonna be crazy. I can't wait for it.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah. Me, I'm looking forward to the next recorded interview of one John Fetterman. Because I want to listen. I've heard all the other dead enders, and I've seen him text it, but I want to see him in an interview. Just be like, no, I love that old man so much, and we had so many shared interests. You know, neither of our brains work good. Like that's what I look forward to. I just want to see him. I want to see a Van Jones moment, but from Fetterman. You know,
and I gotta say, Van Jones. Just one of the most pathetic displays.
Honestly, that's, man, literally throwing away Obama and just being like, so Joe.
Oh my God. I didn't even work for Joe. I didn't fuck Obama. I worked for Joe. Joe is my guy. I love that man.
I've seen people in cuck chairs with more fucking,
my God.
with more respect for themselves than whatever the hell that was.
Jesus.
Oh man,
he's not gonna spit on you, Van. Like, you're like, just take it easy. Just take it easy, man. Just do that off camera.
I hope Joe like sends him like lovely gift baskets or something for Christmas. I don't know, man.
We can all see you. Doing this.
Yeah, you're doing this in front of people, man. People are watching this on television. This is how you want to look.
It's crazy.
Oh man. Yeah.
That's where too. It's like, I feel like Fetterman might need to be told a few more times before it sticks. So you might, you got a few days. Yeah. All right.
Ah, damn, man. He's gonna drive down fucking 495 at 120 in some staff member's car today because of how angry he is.
That's why take public transport if you can. All right, stay away from senators driving.
Might be dangerous out there, folks. Be careful.
Yeah. Always wear your seatbelts.
Good. Well, we'll be back with these shenanigans soon.
Yeah, this is fun, by the way. I think
good.
It
was fun. I like it. We should prognosticate more often on stream as well.
Word. All right, man.
Peace.
Later, Losers Chat. Have a good one.
Okay. All right.
All right. How do we get the hell out? Now let's like boomer this shit.
I got it.
Yeah. Okay.